I am Gianna, the pet engineer. This is a radio talk show dedicated to help people to construct a better connection with their pets. To listen to our show, you can visit us at petengineer.com. Also, check my new book, Numerology for Pets, at amazon.com. Today we have Jane Paley, who is an Emmy Award winner and author of Hooper Finds a Family, based on a true story which tells how her lab named Hooper was abandoned and rescued from Katrina. Hooper also has a big mission in his real life. He's a certified therapy dog and involved with young children learning how to read. If you want to know more about Jane and Hooper, go to www.janepaley.com. Jane, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you.
Tell me, what inspired you to write Hooper's story through his eyes?
I really felt that to communicate the power and the urgency of the storm, seeing it through a puppy's eyes would be the best way to communicate it to children. And I also wrote it as kind of a tribute to his spirit. He has a remarkable will to survive and to overcome obstacles. And I felt it was the easiest way for people to watch him grow up before our eyes, in a way, by looking at his world through his own eyes.
When did you realize Hooper wanted to be a certified therapy dog?
He provided all the initiative. By the way he responded to children on the street when we took him out for walks. He would see a child and he would sit down and make eye contact with children as we walked along, and as if he really wanted to interact with them. So that was the first clue that he liked kids. The second clue was when we took him to obedience training. He was perfect. I mean, he was the A student in the class.
Cute.
The teacher always took him out of the line to demonstrate. I mean, he was the demo dog. And she said, this dog is exceptionally interested in pleasing, in relating to people. Maybe you ought to think about taking him into a more advanced class. And that's what we did. We started the training so that he could do this professionally, as it were. And he took to it immediately. When we did our field work, he was excited to put the little coat on and go out to hospitals and schools and work. He loved to work. So we've continued it.
How did Hooper got involved in the Reading for Bodies program, which helps children to read?
He's just very suited to be around groups of children.
How did children respond to him? Do you see any improvements on their reading pattern?
There's very interesting research on this subject, and what the research indicates and what we have seen empirically is that the kids get more confident when they're reading out loud to him because he doesn't judge them. They're empowered. They become less nervous. They become more confident readers, and more to the point, they like to read more because they feel better about themselves.
Now, Jane, regarding the book you wrote, Hooper Finds a Family, what do you want the kids to gain from your book?
Wouldn't it be wonderful for them to be able to experience Hooper's humiliation and Hooper's feeling rejected and Hooper's feeling like he had failed and watching him overcome all of these obstacles that I think are very much a part of childhood. We may not remember how terrible it was to be in the schoolyard when the other kids were playing and made fun of us, or we felt left out, or we felt betrayed by a friend. Hooper represents the child who is strong enough and brave enough to overcome these obstacles.
Are there any messages or lessons learned about your experience with pets you would like to share with the listeners today?
As pet owners, we're parents. We're parents to our pets, just as we are to our children. If I've learned nothing else from Hooper, it's just to love him for who he is. And I hope other pet owners of all ages just will say, oh, my dog jumps up on me when I walk in the door, and he probably shouldn't, but it's his way of saying I love you. And yes, we need to train our dogs. They need to be obedient, but we also need to love them for the temperaments that they have and not expect them to be something that they're not. And I love Hooper even though he isn't an athlete, and I love him for the clumsy, wonderful, loving pup that he is. And I think pet lovers probably all feel the same way, but it's a message I like to reinforce. And I guess the only other message I have for your listeners is, you know what, there are wonderful, wonderful dogs who need homes. And if you're looking for a dog, do your homework and go to a local shelter or a rescue organization and save a dog like Hooper, and make a better life for yourself as a result of it.
Thanks, Jane.
Thank you so much.
And now, some animal news from the pet engineer.
I love my dog as much as I...
Should microchips be mandatory for shelter pets? Lawmakers think maybe. California taxpayers pay about $3 million every year to impound 1 million dogs and cats, house them and euthanize half of them. 13% of lost pets entering shelters are reunited with owners, but studies show that the number could grow to 75% with chips. So, get your dog or cat a microchip. You may be saving his life.
Comes the shining through his eyes. I don't need no cold water.
This is funny. A circus in the Siberian city of Chita is missing some of its animal stars. A ferret, an ape, and a parrot have found a way out and headed for their freedom. But management blames the bad weather, which probably made the performers gloomy and depressed. I don't think so. Hey, by the way, live animals in circus should be forbidden. German police are trying out a new weapon in the fight against crime. Vultures that can find hidden corpses. That's right, vultures. 3 feathered detectives called Sherlock, Miss Marple, and Columbo are being trained. The vultures are supposed to be better than sniffer dogs at finding bodies when a large area has to be searched and the land is difficult. I hope German police succeed in training those big birds because they're really special. If you have any news, opinions, or suggestions you would like to share, go to thepetengineer.com under the submission link. Thank you for listening to the Pet Engineer Radio Show. Don't forget to check my new book, Numerology for Pets, at numerologyforpets.com.